going to do an insight video today. I haven't done one for a while. I've been going through a bit of a transformation within myself and within my own sort of like spiritual journey. I think this is going on for a lot of people. This shift in consciousness, this shift in awareness, where a lot of us are starting to shift and change and move to this higher frequency, this new frequency that's starting to manifest and starting to sort of like integrate within consciousness on the planet, but also into us individually. I've talked a lot about source energy and source creation and source consciousness a lot in the insight videos I've done for maybe the last year or so. I've had a lot of insight over the last couple of months and what's been going on with my own journey. I've been sort of like drawn to sort of information around sort of like channeling and then sort of like receiving information from sort of infinite beings and guides and councils and things like that. For a long time, sort of like in my past, I've very much sort of like been drawn to sort of like psychic art and things like that. But the sort of thing that's been coming up for me is in relation to like source energy and source consciousness, and how we're sort of like creation and this notion of source and how this energy is used, how it's integrated with, and how we access it. Also along sort of the lines of like looking at like higher self, like multi-dimensional self. I know these are sort of like labels that people have used in the past, and a lot of people have talked about them and discussed a lot. For me, it's sort of like creation and vibration and frequency. I've talked a lot about this through universal laws and universal frequency, but these are all like obviously source frequency and source vibration. Living from source is something I've talked about over the last like year or so a lot, and now it's trying to integrate it and start to really live from that vibration, that frequency, knowing that within you that you are this source creator, you have a seed of creation. This I've talked about like the universal laws like perpetual transmutation, and perpetual transmutation talks about source energy and source vibration. It talks about the understanding that all reality is a vibration, all reality is frequency, all reality is consciousness, and all we need to do really to create and manifest that is to live within that consciousness, live it on a high vibration, a high frequency. Again, this connects to universal law of polarity that talks about positive and negative, but it's also just talking about isness. And what I mean by isness is this notion of you know, that this vibration, that things are just the way they are. Isness is the understanding, like the knowing that you know you are this being that is beyond a physical form, and you're a universal, you know, frequency. You're a source. You have source vibration, source frequency within your consciousness, within your energy, and that you have the ability, like with a perpetual transmutation, to shift and change reality within the eternal moment. And the eternal moment is the only thing that exists. Time and space are sort of like something that's been created human, but like within within like source vibration, source frequency, which there are many sort of like vibration on like or dimensions. There is no time and space. Everything is one. Everything sort of vibrates. Everything sort of manifests within that eternal moment, in the oneness, which is again universal law of vibration, and the universal law of divine creation, the universal law of oneness. All talk about this. A consciousness and our ability to shift our consciousness and live within our source vibration is how we create reality, how we manifest reality. And again, it talks about the universal law of correspondence and how we are, you know, we are source beings of source vibration and source creation, and all things are created from us. All things are manifested from us, and the universe doesn't work against us, it works for us, through us, and for our highest outcome. And this is sort of the shift of vibration, the shift of consciousness, you know, moving away from the 3D reality to the 5D reality, that, you know, the energetic reality, that all things are vibration and frequency, and all we have to do is live within that vibration and frequency. And there's no limitation, there is only infinite, and that we can access that at any time. There is no limitation. The limitation is within a state of feeling like lacking, or something's missing within our life when there isn't. In the understanding consciousness and the universal source and creation is that all of us are perfect. We are all source. We are all sort of manifestations of the pure source creation vibration, that all of us, you know, are light energy, this source vibration, or source frequency. We're pure light, pure creation. Each and every one of us are a reflection of that. So we can't be limited because we're infinite. So the limitation only comes through the human mind and the 3D reality of the physical reality. When we start looking out and we start to see the external world and we think that impacts us and affects us, then we lower our vibration and that becomes our reality. All reality is what we focus on, what we create, what we align our consciousness with. And this is the big shift. It's the understanding that there is no limitation and that the universe works for us, through us, and as us. So, and what I mean by as us is that we are we are beings of pure light and vibration and frequency. And the way we create something is to be it, and we can do that. We just sit within our center. We move away from the human mind, the human consciousness, and move into the infinite consciousness. And this is what this shift is about. They talk about this notion of, so I've had like a diamond frequency for a long time, like diamond consciousness. And diamond consciousness is a fifth dimensional vibrational frequency. It's a fifth dimensional, fifth dimensional sort of like sacred symbol, sacred sort of a geometry. It's like that kind of feeling. And the diamond is relation to heaven on earth. And heaven on earth is the understanding that we can create our own reality. We can create a frequency, a vibration of pure joy, pure happiness, pure alignment, pure peace, presence, bliss, all of those kind of things we can create. The only thing that's stopping us is when we believe that we're lacking something, or that we need to do something to arrive to it. And we don't need to do anything to arrive to it because we're already perfect. We're a perfect being of consciousness, of divine consciousness, of source consciousness. And it's the understanding that we wake up every day, and we in every moment, in every second. And again, this is the universal law and the wisdom of the universal law of perpetual transmutation, is that what we create within that eternal moment, then we experience. And again, this is the universal law of correspondence working through us and for us. It's letting us, it gives us the wisdom and the insight that from our own center, and what we're vibrating and what we're consciously creating is our reality. And that comes from us. That's not an external thing. It's not something outside of us. It's something that comes from within. And it's the only way you can experience that is to live within source, and live within your own source consciousness and source creator. You are a seed of creation. You are the divine within this human form. And each and every one of us don't need to do anything to get somewhere. We already have that ability, that ability, that quality, that gift to create. And it's always been like that. The only limitation is we come down, and we come down from the dimensions of light, frequency, and light, vibration, and we come into this human form. And what we start to do is then we separate. And when we separate, then we lose that consciousness. And this whole journey is about awakening again, coming to that. And that's what Ascension's about. And when people talk about master and becoming a master, it's the understanding that that you can create and align your own reality in every moment. And it's there. The vibration, the frequency is always there. It's always available. There is no sort of it's always there in that infinite moment. It's never separate from us. And this is again the wisdom of oneness, the wisdom of divine creation. This is the wisdom of source, knowing that you are source vibration. There is no limitation. The only limit is what you create for yourself, where you feel something's lacking. You feel you have to attain something to fit, to bring harmony, or bring sort of alignment. That vibration is always within you. It's always available. It's always available to access and to create and manifest and to bring online. One of the key things is, like, within this consciousness and this infinite consciousness and knowing source, is then to integrate it within your human self or your human body. So you create this energy field that is aligned with your higher consciousness and your higher self. And this is what this time and this moment is about, this infinite moment. And you got people like Eckhart Tolle talking about the power of now. He is talking about this source creation, this source vibration, that the power of now is telling you the eternal moment is always accessible. There is no separation, never has been. And it's the same with beings of like universal teachers, guides, angels, masters, councils that are around you, and all these beings that bring in infinite knowledge and wisdom through to us, that we can access this because we are them, they are us. There is no separation. The only difference is we're in human form, but we've chosen to come down here at this time, this moment, in this reality, because of the high vibration, to bring that awareness back, to bring that union back, to align us with the infinite realms and source creation and source vibration. We've chosen to come back to shift this vibration, shift this frequency of this planet, and bring it back into a spiritual reality, a spiritual sort of understanding and awareness. And this is what this time and age is about. And this is what people talk about, the new earth, or they talk about heaven on earth. They talk about this because they're saying awaken to your true essence, your true vibration, your true source energy, and start to use this within your reality. And when you start to live within source and know that you can create, then what you start to do is you start to live within that vibration, that oneness vibration. And then what happens is the law of attraction starts to work, because the law of attraction attracts these vibrations, these frequencies into your reality, because you're being who you are, you're being as you are, who you're supposed to be. You're awakening to your true self, your higher self. And when you walk as that vibration, that frequency, then all that can be attracted to you is high vibrations and frequencies, high outcomes. And your higher self, it's important to or your infinite self. I like to say infinite self, but a lot of people use a term on the label of higher self, but I like to use infinite self because it's the infinite being. There's no limitation, it's infinite. And the infinite self, once you step into that and you step into that vibration, then you attract those infinite possibilities. And it's not something that happens externally, it's not something that happens out there, it happens from within. And this is what the universal law of correspondence teaches us. So it's all about sort of becoming more conscious and knowing that you are a source creator and you're living in your own source vibration. So this is what this time and age is about, and this is why it's important. You can get through get to this expansive feeling, or this center within you. You can use things like crystals as tools. You can use meditation, visualization. But once you awaken to it, then you activate this vibration, and when you activate this vibration, you live within it. And when you start to live within it, you know that all things are possible. There is no limitation. There is only infinite opportunities and infinite moments, and the moment goes on forever. This is the eternal moment, and we live within that. And within that eternal moment, there's vibration and frequency that can be accessed at any moment, any time. And again, this is the universal law of perpetual transmutation. And this is what Saint Germain talks about when they talk about transmutation or transformation. It talks about like this violet flame. The violet flame is teaching us that we have this frequency available at any time. And by aligning with it, we can shift and change reality to bring on a new reality. Nothing's ever lost and nothing's ever separate. It's always connected. It's always available to us. We just have to be conscious of it. When we become unconscious, when we're not conscious of it, then we slip back into 3D reality. We slip back into seeing the world is happening to us, or the world is against us, or any of those kind of things. But if you remain connected to it, then you remain that you're aware that the universe is always working for you for the highest outcome, and working for you, as you, and through you. And this is what this time and age is about: is awakening to your own source vibration and frequency, and knowing, if you can master that daily, the daily sort of like things that come into your reality that impact you and take your vibration down. If you can take a moment in that eternal moment and realize that you can dissolve it, you can move through it, and you can create and manifest something and shift your vibration, then you can start to master this reality and master your own reality and the things that influence you and impact you. And this is what this time and age is about. So that's the insight for today. Thanks for listening. If you've got any comments or questions, please put them in a comment box below. Subscribe and share if you feel any of this is resonates with you, and also share it with anybody you feel that it could bring some insight or awareness to for their own reality and their own lives. All right, have a great day.